Listen up, because the rules of the road haven't just shifted a little bit, they have fundamentally changed. If you drive I-95 or honestly any major highway in the United States, you are cruising straight into an entirely new reality. We're talking about an automated system explicitly designed to catch millions of drivers totally off guard. I'm going to walk you through exactly what's out there right now in this explainer, because as we speak, you're driving under a new set of rules you probably don't even know exist. So let's dive right into this. For decades, you know the old drill, right? Flashing red and blue lights in the rear view, pulling over, and maybe, just maybe, talking your way out of a ticket with the officer. Well, that era, it's completely over. The days of roadside warnings and officer discretion are rapidly vanishing. You gotta ask yourself, what if your next ticket comes without a cop at all? By the time you even realize you've messed up, the citation is already processed and sitting in the mail, quietly making its way to your house before you've even pulled into your driveway. Now, you might be thinking, hey, I don't drive I-95, so this doesn't apply to me. But here is exactly why it absolutely does. I-95 is this massive, nearly 2,000-mile artery stretching from Maine all the way down to Miami. It moves roughly 300,000 vehicles every single day. Because of that massive volume and, honestly, the high fatality rates, it has become the ultimate testing ground for every single piece of new traffic enforcement tech in 2026. And what gets tested and proven on I-95, it's guaranteed to roll out everywhere else. These invisible traps are coming for every single driver in America. All right, let's look at trap number 1, unblinking automated speed cameras. Specifically, we're looking at Delaware's I-95 work zone activation. On May 23, 2026, Delaware essentially flipped the switch on live speed cameras in the Churchman's Marsh work zone on northbound I-95. The grace period is officially over, guys, and the penalty structure, it's pretty ruthless. The work zone speed limit is 55. If you travel 11 miles per hour or more above that, bam, you get an automatic civil violation. That breaks down to a $20 base penalty plus $1 for every single mile per hour over the limit, plus your court fees. There are absolutely no warnings and no negotiations. Let's just do some quick math on that. If you're going 66 miles per hour, so just 11 over that 55 mile per hour limit, you are guaranteed a minimum citation of $118. Hitting 75, you're looking at significantly more. And remember, these are civil penalties. A reviewer basically confirms the camera's capture of your license plate, and the bill goes directly to the registered vehicle owner. It literally does not matter who was actually behind the wheel. The owner of the car pays the price. Now, if you think this is only going to catch a few incredibly reckless drivers, you have to look at these numbers. In just the first 72 hours of enforcement, more than 10,000 vehicles were recorded traveling 11 or more miles over the limit. 10,000! 39 vehicles were clocked at over 100 miles per hour, and the single fastest vehicle caught doing 139 miles per hour in a 55 zone. These are not just isolated edge cases. This is normalized driving behavior getting instantly punished at an incredible scale. Actually, an older program in Delaware produced over 400,000 violations and dropped average speeds by 10%. That right there is exactly why similar systems are spreading like wildfire into Pennsylvania, Maryland, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and beyond. Moving right along to trap number 2, strict new phone laws, which we can see perfectly with Pennsylvania's Paul Miller Law. So on June 5, 2026, Pennsylvania enacted the Paul Miller Law, specifically targeting the I-95 corridor. Under this law, just holding a phone is a primary offense. That means officers no longer need another reason, like say speeding or a busted taillight, to pull you over. If they spot a phone in your hand, that is all they need. And here's the real kicker. This applies even when your vehicle is completely stopped in dead traffic. Sitting at a red light in Philly checking a quick text, that is now a guaranteed $50 ticket plus court costs. And Pennsylvania is definitely not alone here. They just joined 27 other states that enforce handheld device bans as primary offenses. Almost the entire I-95 corridor, from Maine all the way down to Florida, operates exactly this way now. States like California, Ohio, New York, and New Jersey are all cracking down hard. In New York, for example, a first offense hands you a cool $200 fine and slaps 5 points right on your license. In New Jersey, you're looking at $200 to $400 straight out of your pocket. Okay, trap number 3, expanded move-over rules. And trust me, this is about way more than just police and ambulances nowadays. We all know the traditional move-over law, right? You see a police cruiser or an ambulance, you safely move over a lane. But throughout 2025 and 2026, states like Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and a bunch of others massively expanded this. Now, You must move over for absolutely any vehicle displaying blinking hazard lights. I'm talking about a broken-down family minivan, an Amazon delivery truck, or a tow truck that hasn't even turned on its main emergency strobes yet. If the hazards are blinking, the law absolutely applies to you. The violation threshold here is super specific, and honestly, most drivers get it totally wrong. If you cannot safely change lanes, you have to drop your speed to a very specific number, which is typically 20 miles per hour below the posted limit. As the data shows, just tapping your brakes to drop 5 miles per hour, that leaves you completely out of legal compliance. You could be looking at fines up to $500. And worse, in several states, if you violate this and cause property damage, it triggers an automatic mandatory license suspension. No way around it. Next up is trap number 4, point-to-point speed traps. Say hello to the end of the brake tap strategy. For decades, experienced drivers have relied on one go-to strategy. You see a speed trap, you tap the brakes, pass the cop at the speed limit, and then speed right back up. But jurisdictions in Virginia, New York, New Jersey, and Maryland are deploying something called average speed enforcement that completely destroys that tactic. Here is exactly how point-to-point works. Step 1, an entry camera records your plate and your exact time. Step 2, a few miles down the road, an exit camera does the exact same thing. Step 3, the system calculates the mathematical average of your speed across that entire distance. If your average is over the limit, a citation is automatically generated. The beauty or the terror of this system, depending on how you look at it, is that there are 0 cameras in the middle of the zone. Slowing down when you think someone is watching has literally 0 effect, because the only cameras that actually matter are miles apart. This mathematically guarantees you get a citation if your overall pace is just too fast. You simply cannot game a camera you cannot see. It completely ends the whole slow down, speed up routine for good. And finally, we have trap number 5, the hidden insurance costs. I like to call this the 3-year financial tail. This trap isn't even about what happens on the side of the road or what comes in the mail next week. It's the devastating financial blow that hits you months later. A single automated speed camera or a handheld phone violation can spike your car insurance premium by 15 to 30%, depending on your state and your insurer. And that increase, it doesn't just quietly disappear next month. It persists for a full 3 years from the date of the violation. Let's just stack up the compounding damages for a second to put this into perspective. Say you get a camera citation in a work zone, a handheld phone ticket and stop traffic, and a move-over failure because you only slowed down by 5 miles per hour instead of 20. If those hit you in the same 12-month period, you could easily see your annual insurance premium jump by $400 to $800 or even more. Over the 3-year life of that rate increase, you are suddenly paying out thousands of dollars for routine behaviors that previously might have just gotten you a verbal warning from a state trooper. And circling back to states like New York that are implementing electronic real-time coverage verification, law enforcement and DMV systems can now instantly confirm if your insurance policy is active, all without ever asking for your paper card. If your coverage lapses for a single day, a payment misses, or an auto renewal fails for some reason, it gets automatically flagged during a camera read or a routine traffic stop. This isn't just a one-time fine anymore. It adds a permanent surcharge to your record that impacts every single renewal for years to come. So, to summarize the grim new reality we've been unpacking in this explainer, automated work zone cameras are issuing live fines right now. Holding your phone in dead traffic? That's a primary offense. Move-over laws apply to any blinking hazard lights and require drastic speed reductions. Average speed cameras have totally killed the brake tech strategy. And your insurance company? They're going to penalize you for all of it for 3 long years. The enforcement system in 2026 doesn't pull you over to lecture you. It simply records you, identifies you, and mails you the bill. Which leaves us with one final, absolutely crucial question to consider the next time you put your car in drive. Knowing that these invisible traps are already active and that they're calculating your speed from point to point as we speak, will you alter your daily commute today, or are you going to wait for a stack of automatic fines in your mailbox to force your hand? The rules really have changed. Drive safe out there.